Deuteronomy 15 through 19. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from your midst, from your brethren. Him you shall hear. According to all that you desire of the Lord your God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, nor let me see this great fire any more, lest I die. And the Lord said to me, what they have spoken is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brethren, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. And it shall be that whoever will not hear my words, which he speaks in my name, I will require it of him. Verse 15, the Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me. This is very interesting because Moses, he says the prophet will be like him. And this prophet, Moses, we know, spoke to the Lord face to face. In fact, after he got done speaking to God, he had to wear a veil over his face when he came back down to the people. But here, when we talk about Jesus, he did not need a veil. Jesus was God. So the glory he had in him. He didn't have it shining off of him. And in this first verse, the prophet comes from the midst, from your brethren. We know that in Matthew 1 through 16 is the genealogy of Jesus. And Luke 3:23 through 38 has the same genealogy. So he was raised up from the tribe of Judah. Him you shall hear. Here Moses gave the law. And he's telling them that the next prophet you shall hear. It's like if I was saying something and someone else came in and I say, listen to him, he knows better. And this is what Moses is saying to the people. You have to hear him. Deuteronomy 34:10 is next to the last verse in Deuteronomy, and it says, but since there has not risen in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. The transfiguration in Matthew 17:5, while he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and suddenly a voice came out of the cloud saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, hear him. And in verse 16, it says, according to all you desired of the Lord your God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, nor let me see this great fire any more, lest I die. When you study the law, he's talking about in the mountain, there was a great fire and God was speaking, giving them the oral law. And they said, we do not want to hear this voice anymore. So they put Moses as an intermediary. Once again, the picture of Jesus. Jesus is our go-between, between us and God, the prophet who is like me. Deuteronomy 9:10 says, then the Lord delivered me 2 tablets of stone written with the finger of God, and on them were all the words which the Lord had spoken to you on the mountain in the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Verse 17, and the Lord said to me, what they have spoken is good. He's talking about them not hearing his voice anymore. And you look at that and I'm like, finally the people have something right. Verse 18, once again, I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brethren, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. The prophet Jesus, like I said, is like Moses. We have the picture. Moses was in between the people and God. Moses was from their brethren, and he spoke to God face to face. John 12:49, for I have not spoken on my own authority, but the Father who sent me gave me a command, what I should say and what I should speak. And it shall be that whoever will not hear my words, which he speaks in my name, I will require it of him. Peter is preaching in Jerusalem in Acts 3:22, for Moses truly said to the fathers, the Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from your brethren. Him you shall hear in all things, whatever he says to you. And it shall be that every soul who will not hear that prophet shall be utterly destroyed from among the people. We celebrate Christmas, in which was born Jesus Christ. the prophet that was like Moses, who spoke to God face to face. God gave him the words to speak, and as Moses was the go-between, but Moses was not sinless. We now have Jesus, the perfect mediator between God and man, sinless. Merry Christmas.